It's the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, beginning at verse 1, which is really the point. And it reads, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." I'll start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Elohim Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Chakadosh B'Katam. I want to say double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who do teach and rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. I want to say shalom to the Akim and the Aquat out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and on land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's the brother Yah, what's up? Coming at you with another lesson through the spirit, through the power of Yah, but Shemi Shai. So came across this article. And I know brothers been hearing about this throughout the news, and it's hard to tell what's the truth and what's false or falsified information. At the end of the day, I was listening to a video the elder ICR from North Carolina did, and basically he was going into, some of it may be propaganda, but then it's a lot of like separate reports, which is more than likely is a little bit of both going on. There's a lot of propaganda, but then it's isolated incidents as well. So, word kalipas, because that's the word perilous.
Strong's G 5467. Khalipas. Khalipas.
And it goes into, it's basically hard to take, to approach. So in the last days, perilous times or hard times is approaching. It said hard or fierce or harsh or savage, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous. All the adjectives used to describe the time that we are actually living in. There's a lot of little telltale signs to show you that we're at the end, definitely at the end of this man kingdom. Now the thing is ultimately the will of Yahweh Shemi Shai when this thing will end. But if you are, occupied in prophecies, if you study in the scriptures, if you root it, if you know, if you your head is on a swivel and you know what's going on, scriptures talk about being crept up on unawares, But if you are of the hopeful elect, you won't be unaware because you're constantly watching for the things that's written in the scriptures and what's going on in the world. So, with that all being said, I got this article out of my news break, and it's going into basically Chicago gangs clash with Venezuelan Tren de Agua, Tren de Agua, and I've done it myself, but a lot of brothers mention MS-13. But from what the information I've gathered from this, MS-13 isn't as influential as it once was. So the new gang, the new big bully, is this Tren de Agua. Now you got brothers in Chicago and whatnot. Brothers from Chicago pretty much be frequent. Brothers from here frequent because it's all Midwest camps. So. And I heard the elder Malcolm, the beloved elder Malcolm, speak on how he saw certain little things as far as skirmishes here and there, because they Jake, so Jake gonna get into shit. But he said for the most part they chilling. You seeing Venezuelan women messing with Jake men, and Jake men messing with Venezuelan women, and vice versa. Venezuelan men messing with Jake women, and because that's what Jake do. But this is it's truth to this too. I've seen videos, and at the end of the day, they're trying to orchestrate something anyway. They're trying to put a face and a color to the problem. To basically allow Esau to vent his rage. Venezuelan migrants moving into Chicago's South Side have caught the attention of the city gangs, with some fearing an impeding turf war between local gangs and their Venezuelan counterparts. Now, I remember they was talking about the O Block, like when they was talking about the situation in Colorado and how it might have been fraudulent or fake, or it might not have been true. And then like that same week, It seemed like that same week when they coming out with that information, they said that the Venezuelan gang is supposed to shut up O Block. Now, you got certain TV personalities or social media personalities like F, um, what's his name, J Main. He from Chicago and he got a little podcast platform or whatnot. But he was saying certain stuff. So it's a lot of people pushing this narrative as far as the Venezuelans being pretty much raising and causing havoc and taking over land and areas. Again, I'm not there. I could just only go by what the brothers have said. But again, you got to remember this is the same city where you have Edomites dressed up in blackface and rob banks or plant drugs or drop off guns in Jake neighborhoods. So why wouldn't they want these two groups of people to be fighting once against one another? It says when the black gangs here get fed up with the illegalities and criminal activities of these migrants or non-citizens, the city of Chicago is going to go up in flames, and there will be nothing the National Guard or the government can do about it when the bloodshed hits the street. That's spiritual because it made me think of the riots, the Black Panther riots, during the 70s, and it's funny because where they contained them riots at, there was Jake neighborhoods, and those are the areas that got fucked up. Jake was so out of it, Jake tore up his own neighborhood. That even happened in Cleveland, And it's funny because I did a video on it. Well, it's not funny, it's auspicious. I did a video on it, but, it was talking about, like, the neighborhoods, which was historically black neighborhood, the Huff Riots. They call it the Huff Riots. Just recently, they was finding KKK literature posted up all through there. So, these devils ready. They waiting, It's Jake that is really still lightweight lost. At the end of the day, it don't matter how much preparation you put forth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, scriptures talk about. The elder always quote this. That saying. Rehearsal is the father of skill, roughly paraphrased. So yeah, we're always constantly practicing this truth. That's why you're constantly doing videos, constantly reading, always on our highways and hedges. Doing the will and the work of Yahweh Shem Shah. But you can't say when this is going to take place. The only way you can try to get right is to get right spiritually, to understand what's about to take place, and to understand your lot isn't the way it's supposed to be that you think, It took me a while in the truth to realize that, you see it certain brothers move and you think as long as you pleasing the Lord, your lot you should be able to be given this or it should go this way. But that's not the fucking case. You know what I mean? Like, the Lord funny for that. You know what I mean? Like, call all him like Yahweh Shah. I be thinking sometimes, I should be able to do this and do that. But, through the Spirit, I believe, I'm a Levite. So if I'm joined onto the Lord, my happiness don't come before shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole existence is to do, his will, Salakia for the, moment of transgression. At least Salakia for the I say transgression, Salakia. The moment of, I ain't breaking no law yet, or not that I know of right now, but moment of, a little bit here all over the place. It says when a black, I read that part. Tyrone Muhammad, a former Chicago gangster who did 20 years in prison and now runs a violence prevention program, said in a report for the New York Post. It says, with the arrival has come a rise in crime, locals told the New York Post, while some Venezuelan gangsters have started to encroach on the territory of the city's local gangs. Now, I'm sure it's truth to that, because you got to remember, a lot of the Venezuelans, from what the information came out, a lot of those that were brought in here, the males, were like basically released from prison. So the Venezuelan crime pretty much went down, because they got rid of all the criminals. So yeah, I mean, a criminal, even if they got it, they itching to, you got criminals that get off on, how you have a 2/3 nigga that get off on fucking another man's woman, like that don't nothing make him happier type shit. You got niggas that, like certain niggas that don't like, they not having fun unless they fighting or, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, so, yeah, I'm sure it's, a lot of crime came. But like I said again, I don't agree or believe it's all of them. You know what I mean? That's just like saying that it's all Jake that committed all the crime. You know what I mean? And right now, you got probably more so Esau. They just putting the face on Jake. It says there's been a lot going on with the migrant gangs that nobody's even hearing about. Zach Massey, I know a guy named Massey, a local Chicago gang member, told the New York Post. That's funny. Zach sound like a white boy, but Massey I know is a Jake. They be moving in on our territory and robbing people, but they don't get arrested like we do. I actually talked to one on the translator app. He told me all the things he got going on, how they helped him get a car, apartment, EBT car, all this stuff. They giving them thousands. We get maybe 400 a month, and they don't even have social security numbers. Ain't that something? So you got to question what is the purpose of this? Because like I said again, like they just giving out. That's how you know this shit about the crack in a minute. Like they giving money to people that's not registered, that's taken from the programs that's set up for Americans, Babylonians, and then what I mean, what I mean, it's just like the picture looks a lot clearer now. Going into that tracking system that Trump was speaking on, which I was supposed to do a video on, and I never, because I kept on trying to find the video, and I never could find the video. I think I found an article. I remember the elder Ashiar from North Carolina was speaking on it, and then I happened to find the article, and I was like, damn, that's the spirit. It says sources from local Chicago gangs told the New York Post that members of the Venezuelan gang are often heavily armed and have begun spilling into areas traditionally controlled by the local gangs. Local gang members Corey Rogers told the New York Post that Venezuelan gangsters will often be seen showing the flag, a slang term for brandishing their firearms. He also showed the outlet text threads that feature local gang members threatening turf wars with the newcomer gangsters. And that's what ultimately was going to happen, if they really trying to take over space. I mean, you take the time to think about the Wild Wild West. Now this is a place that's supposed to be civilized. We're no longer in the Wild Wild West because you're supposed to have laws and people to uphold those laws. That's what you have. Supposed to have law enforcement. That's the whole purpose of law enforcement, for them to uphold the laws in the land. They're here to protect the property and the land and the laws of the land, not you. So, like the brother was saying, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have skirmishes and you're going to have little altercations here and there until it's full-fledged, everybody go to war because that's scriptural. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm going to read starting at verse 26, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. Now, this is the words of Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, what people English call Jesus Christ. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we're hearing about wars right now and rumors of wars. You know the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and you're hearing about the possible, conflicts coming up with America against China and America against Russia, and talk about possible drafts and all these different things. So those are your rumors of war. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. So you're going to have two nations of people. So, now the Venezuelans are Israelites. Majority of those nations that came over here, from the Haitians, which are the Levites, to the Venezuelans. I forgot what tribe that is, the Venezuelans. Bear with me for a second. The Venezuelans might be the tribe of Asher, if I'm not mistaken. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. So you're going to have these different tribes rising up against one another, because when times get tough, people forget, you got to remember the counts in the scriptures. You had different tribes warring against different tribes. You had to remember the tribe of Benjamin pretty much went against all the 12 tribes, with the other 11. Well, I don't think Levi was included with that. Um, and so eventually it'd be the race wars that the scriptures always talked about. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." Remember, the brother was mentioning, I think the year started off with a major earthquake. It was an earthquake in New York. Remember the elder speaking on, he was like, he was preaching or doing a video when the earthquake happened. You got all these different diseases that's floating around right now. Verse 8, Matthew 24 and 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So these are not our words. These are the words that's written in the scriptures, because this is the Heavenly Father's, the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's will, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, which is the disbelief or the unbelief. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And I'm seeing that now. I'm either running across 2/3 that don't believe, or just some motherfuckers that's just, they got to figure it out. And that just show you how the Lord really gonna leave a lot of people to their simple devices. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even understand how much of a gift this is, and for a person to shun this, you know, I don't know exactly why, after meditating my personal situation, but I still believe. So, I'm blessed to just have that, you know. And it's funny because, be careful what you think or wish, because, you might just get it, at the end of the day, But you got people that, like I said, don't have any idea that's what's happening, what's coming around the corner. And the shit is, you ever like move faster than, like your body sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you either moved, and next thing you know, it's hard to explain. But like, put it like this: it's coming quicker than what you think. Like, it's already here. All you got to do is be revealed. You know what I mean? Like, you got to remember, everything that they do everything, in increments. Subtility, with subtlety. So, again, they done let these people over and don't got no real excuse for why. I mean, you can get away with that. The Levites, the Haitians, it was pretty much civil war going on in their country. You know, that's why they could push the narrative they eating people, because they said at one point people was eating people. But my whole thing was, people was doing that out of really, like, unless they was doing some left hand shit, they was doing that out of, you know, the scriptures. That's in the scriptures. People was eating people. Like, how the fuck you can't see this? Like, that's just, it's a lock you. Skipping to verse 14, 2nd Ezra 14 and 15. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you got to have one nation of people standing up to fight against another. And now, again, those are all Israelites. And more than, the scriptures talk about, Gad, a troop shall prevail against him, but then in the end, he shall prevail. That's cold, because, when you go into Esau conquering Gad, and then it says, but Gad's going to conquer Esau. So, I mean, again, I can see the different skirmishes between the tribes, especially 2/3 that don't understand it's true, you know. But then I can see, the different tribes having to work together as well. Shit, you're going to have, it's going to be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you can really see it too. Because, like I said, again, it's like a recipe for disaster waiting to happen. So at the end of the day, if you can clearly see, the Lord is setting up, judgment for the world. You know what I mean? Jacob's trouble is not set up for the elect, but it's set up for the punishment of the 2/3, the wicked. So this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power and evil, and only evil behold is come. You go to that word evil, it's Eve, which is a time, and ill, which is bad. So it's a compound word meaning bad time. And and end is come, the end is come. Watch it for thee, behold is come. So we coming to the end of this, nation as you know it. You seeing the monetary system falling out. I listen to this one female here and there. Can't think of her name. Salakia for that, but she's an economist and she's very well known. And she was pretty much going into like from what she don't nobody want to be wrong. So they say in my opinion or what I see or speaking as a a human being or a person. They said, well, she was like she can't see anything else that they could do with this dollar, you know, and like pretty much when you cutting these rates, that they think that's a good thing, but in actuality that's going to fuck everything up. You know what I mean? Like it's good. I mean, I don't want to repeat it. I mean, I'm not going to be repeating it because certain things that they said that I can't recall exactly. But I'll delve into it when I actually like have a better grasp of what they were saying. But basically, because put it like this, the way a fiat system is set up, it's automatically set up to fail anyway. So no matter what they do to it, they can't do anything else. And especially when you done printed all this, you know, motherfucking this money. They printed all this money that pretty much looked out for the wealthy and fucked over, you know, the low income average Joe Schmo, everybody. That's why it's the little person or the people that's barely making it that's taking the worst beating. You know what I mean? Yeah, the wealthy getting hit, but not like that. You know what I mean? Skipping the verse. I'm gonna skip down to verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence, and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. But they that escape of them shall escape and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That day of Jacob's trouble. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. I mean, I don't knock having silver and gold. I don't knock having extra food, but these things aren't going to be able to save you. So don't be butthurt if you can't get to it. You never know when this shit jay off. You know, it might jay off while you. I remember brother, his mindset was it might jay off while he traveling visiting with brothers. So you never. So that bug out bag. Verse 21. Verse 25. The point. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. There ain't no peace coming because the Lord, pretty much, like I said, what did the scripture just say? The sword is without, and pestilence, and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Because pretty much, the Lord ain't turning away his wrath no more. The Lord is about to open it up because this is the time of judgment. So that's why you got all these people in this country, and that's why you got everything looking so bleak and just miserable and just like, because the Lord about to judge the place. Well, the scriptures say the Lord is about to judge, or the Lord is visiting the earth which he made. And we seeing them visited by the increasing violence, by the increasing crime, by the cold spirit that's out here. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Kol Haloyim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem. Double honors to my elders and the apostles of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly do some satisfying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Till next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.